Hello everyone. Congratulations on completing your Nebosh IGC exam. Know that you have tackled that challenge. Let's focus on the final hurdle, the closing interview. I know this can feel a bit daunting, but this video is here to guide you through the process and help you feel confident and prepared. So first of all, I'm going to explain you the main points of the scenario. As you all know, that this exam is based on a scenario and some tasks are being asked by the Nebosh. First, we will discuss the main points of the scenario. Then I will explain you the whole situation through an image so that you people understand the whole situation. And then finally, we will discuss the short questions and their answers, which the interviewer may ask from you so that you feel confident and prepared for this upcoming challenge for you. All the best to all of you for passing this closing interview. So let's start with the main points. So, basically, this is about a birds keeping center. There is the name of this center is feathers and wings, FNW. So here are about 18 species of the birds which are kept into different bird houses in this center. It previously it was facing some financial problem for the last 18 months. Now the management of Feather and Wings has decided to sell this center to some other company. So the animal world has acquired this facility, the whole center. And but the good thing is in that the all the previous management and the workers will continue with the same work in the animal world company, and the previous owner will act as the MD, the managing director of this bird keeping center, and the other workers will also continue their work in the same center. So, but the thing, there are some issues regarding health and safety in this situation. The first issue is that the managing director of this organization, which was previously Feather and Wings, but now it has become Animal World. But the previous owner has the same job, but now he is the MD. But the MD is very casual about the health and safety of this whole center. Most of the time, he spends his time in the office and keeping focus on the other business activities, but he does not listen to the workers. He does not take care for the health and safety of the people. Now, as this is a new company, Animal World, so the Animal World management has decided to carry out a detailed audit, a health and safety audit of this company, of this bird center. So they have deputed a health and safety consultant, which will arrive soon in Feather and Wings and will carry out a detailed audit. Other than the birds' houses, the site has a small office and a small rest area. When I will explain you through the picture image, you will understand that how the whole facility is organized. It has, other than the bird houses, the center has a small office, a small rest area, a food preparation and a shipping container, and a large open top waste container for general waste. So these are the few things which are available into this center. 6 full-time experienced workers and 4 recently joined under 18 years age part-time workers. This is another safety issue in this facility. Although the previous management from the Feather and Wing taken charge the new with the new company Animal World, and 6 experienced workers also continued their job in this new facility. But due to the workload, they have recruited 4 new underage workers, which are 18 years old. It is a safety issue in this organization. No, the new management, the Animal World has decided that a new bird house or aviary will be built into the center. For that, they have given task to the managing director. So managing director has deputed this task to the existing workers, and worker A is the most senior and experienced worker at this center. But as per safe procedure, the managing director should appoint trained resource for this activity, because now when they want to build a new owl house in the same center, they have to clear some area, clean some area, and also they have to shift 5 nesting boxes which are which are fixed onto the trees. So the work is tough, but the managing director deputed 2 workers from the existing workforce. This is a safety issue in this bird center. So when the health and safety consultant arrives at 10:30 for the audit, he was surprised that no one was there into the main entry gate of the bird center. One ticketing booth is there at the main gate, but no worker was there, and they casually went outside to have some drink and coffee, etc. After 10 minutes roaming about here and there, the health and safety consultant who arrived there to audit the facility, he saw that the managing director is sitting in his office. So when he came to the MD, the health and safety consultant came to him, the MD handed him a thick folder which was containing the health and safety policy and risk assessment. But when the health and safety consultant reviewed those documents, he found that this is the old health and safety policy, which was basically created in 2018, almost 3 to 4 years back. So in the same manner, there was a generic risk assessment. There was no detailed risk assessment, only generic risk assessment, which was also old, and also the workers were not trained properly, and they were provided only once the training almost 3 years back in 2018. Because when the health and safety consultant asked from the managing director, the MD, about the training, he said that we do not need to spend money on the training, because once we have given the training to the worker, it is good enough. So, but when the health and safety consultant visited the site and he interacted with the worker, especially with the worker B, he asked him about any training and accident record. The worker confirmed him that no one has good training, and the accidents are there, but they are not reported. And in the same manner, the worker B informed him that there were 2 incidents. One, there was a near miss, and one, there was an accident at the site. So how the near miss was happened? Basically, when the 2 workers, worker B and worker C, were working for the construction of a new owl house, before the start of the construction, they have to clean that area, and also there were 5 nesting boxes on the trees. They have to shift that boxes to some other area. So to shift one nest box, one worker B wanted to climb up the tree. For that, he was looking around to have some platform like ladder so that he could reach to the point where the nest house is hanging so that he could shift that nest house to the safe place. But the worker C told him that he should go to the container area where the different tools are placed so that he could find some ladder. And when the worker B came to the container area, he found that two ladders were there. One was large and one was small. So he thought that small ladder is not appropriate. So he picked up the large ladder and he came with that ladder. And he climbed that ladder to the specific trees where he want to pick out the nesting box. When he put the ladder there, it was not affixed on the ground properly. So when he just came back to the throw some garbage from the cleaning area to the container, the ladder slipped and fell down, and the worker we just got away, and the ladder was just fell on his head, but he escaped. So it was a near miss, but was not reported. When the two workers could not complete their work, so they put the ladder onto the container where the discarded material was placed and the garbage was placed. But the MD put that ladder again into the container of the toolbox. And in the morning, the worker B was not healthy, so he did not attend the office. And worker C was not ready to do that work. So the MD appointed the worker A, who think that he is the most experienced person, so that he claimed that he can do that work in a very short time. So alone, he went to that tree from where the nest was to be replaced. So when he go to the toolbox container, he pulled the same, he got the same ladder which was faulty, and he took there and he fixed onto the ground and climbed up to the tree. But suddenly the ladder stepped down and he fell on the ground, and he has a serious head injury on his head. So these types of the problems and incidents were there into this site. Now let's move on to this image so that you can again understand the situation more appropriately. So here is the map, here is the image of this situation of this bird center. The name of this bird center is Feather and Wing, but now it is acquired by Animal World, the new company. So it has a area entrance booth where the tickets are issued to the customers, and adjacent to the entrance booth there is a office where the managing director and his senior staff sits, and very close to this office there is a rest area where the workers in their free time they took rest. And in the adjacent to the rest area, there is a food preparation area for the birds. Here the food is prepared so that this food is provided to the birds. And in front of that food preparation area, there are two containers placed. One container is for the tools storage. Here different tools are keeping, like ladders, like hammers, like drill machines and many other tools which are required on this center, they are keeping in this container. And adjacent to this container, this blue picture, blue box, these two blue box are basically two containers. One is for the garbage, and it is open top container. There is no cover in this container, in this for the waste storage, but the container for tool storage is covered and it has a proper top on it. So in the right corner, we can see the new owl house area, which was proposed by the Animal World New Company, that here they want to construct a new owl house area. So from this area, they have to clean all the bushes and grasses and have to prepare the land, and also they have 5 bird nest boxes on the trees in this area. So the worker have to move that boxes to the safe place so that a new construction could be started here. And in this situation, they got accident where the ladder slipped down, and they in the first attempt they got a near miss when the ladder slipped down and it was about to fall on the head of that worker C, but he escaped luckily. And in the second case, when the worker A was alone working on to shift the nest box, the ladder slipped down and he got a serious head injury, and the proper medical treatment was not provided because he was alone. There was no one to attend him, only the worker D, who listened his screaming, and he came to that point, and suddenly he saw that worker A is lying on the ground with blood on his head, and he went back to the MD office. The MD office asked him why he's in so hurry. He said that I want to have a first aid box because worker A is injured, but the MD was not aware of even the first aid box as well. So there are many problems on this side. Now we discuss that what types of the problems are there and what the questions may be asked, and what are their responses. The first questions that why the management MD the management of the MD was poor. We see that in this facility there are many examples of poor management. So here one out of that problem, one was lack of ongoing training. So MD was not interested to train his workers on inquiry from the health and safety consultant about the training, and we replied that they have provided only once the training, and I think that is good enough, and there is no need to give the training again. It is just waste of money. From here we can assess that how the management of the MD was very poor, that he did not think that training is important. Inadequate health and safety documentation. The other poor management of the MD was that when the health and safety consultant arrived, the MD only provided a thin folder containing a health and safety policy statement and a generic risk assessment report dated 2018. The policy was not displayed anywhere, and there were no accident records despite the HSC suspecting accidents had occurred. So it was again another problem from the poor management, that inadequate health and safety documentations, that documentation were not properly sufficient. Poor communication and dismissive attitude. When younger worker try to talk to the MD about worker A's poor attitude, the MD would dismiss them by telling them to come back when they were not as busy, failing to address the issues. So here another management failure problem at the bird center, that the MD was not having a proper communication channel with his workers, and his attitude was very bad. The next question is, what is a communication and how it can be improved? because we see that there is a failed communication system at this bird center. No, if someone asks that what is a communication, so basically communication is the exchange of information, ideas, thoughts, and messages between two or more parties. It is a fundamental aspect of human interaction and is essential for individuals and organizational success. Effective communication is essential to positively influence the health and safety culture at Feather and Wing. According to this scenario, communication at Feather and Wing would be improved in the following ways. So, if the interviewer asks you that what are your suggestions to improve the communication at this center, then you will reply that you need to implement an open door policy. The management of the Feather and Wing need to implement an open door policy so that every worker should be able to send his message and he could be able to convey if he has he's feeling some problem. He should not feel any difficulty to talk to senior management regarding that problem. And also all the incidents should be reported properly. The second point to increase the communication of that center is to have a regular staff meeting. If there is a regular interaction between management and the worker, they would feel easy and they would be able to tell their problems conveniently, so that it will be a good gesture from the management and the staff if they conduct a regular meeting. Then another point to improve the communication, that is the display health and safety information. From this scenario, we know that the health and safety policy and the risk assessment was very generic, and only a training matrix was displayed on the container, and the policy was not properly displayed on the prominent place. The risk assessment was not communicated, policy was not communicated to the worker. So this was a poor example of bad communication. To improve this communication, they need to display health and safety all information on a prominent place. The next question may be, what is the difference between audit and inspection? As we know from this scenario, that the health and safety consultant came at the site to conduct a thorough health and safety audit because of the existing problem, the safety issues at the site. So if the interviewer asks that what is the difference between audit and inspection, so difference number one is different purpose. Audit has a different purpose and inspection has different purpose. An audit is a systematic, independent, and documented process for obtaining evidence and evaluating it objectively, determining the extent to which agreed criteria are fulfilled, and it assesses the overall effectiveness of the health and safety management system. Whereas the inspection is a formal or informal comprehensive review of the workplace premises, plants, substances, processes, etc., to identify any deficiencies or non-compliance with standards, regulation, or organizational requirements. So there is a purpose that both have different purpose and both have different scope as well. Audit covers a broad scope, examining policies, procedures, records, and the overall implementation of the health and safety management system, whereas inspection typically has a narrow scope, focusing on specific work areas, equipment, or activities. The third difference between audit and inspection is that they have different frequency. Audits are usually conducted periodically, such as annually or at predefined intervals as part of the continual improvement process, whereas inspections can be conducted more frequently, such as daily, weekly, or monthly, depending on the nature of the work and the associated risk. The fourth question may be asked from the interviewer is, what are the benefits of the formal health and safety management system? As we see that the health and safety consultant come there to audit the health and safety management system. That means there are many health and safety problems there. What are your suggestions to improve that health and safety management system at Feather and Wing Bird Center? Implementing a formal health and safety management system can provide the following three key benefits of the Feather and Wings. In number 8, systematic approach. A formal system establishing a structured and systematic approach to managing health and safety risks. It ensures that hazards are identified, risks are assessed, and appropriate control measures are implemented and monitored effectively. And legal compliance. A well-designed health and safety management system helps organizations comply with legal requirements and industry standards, reducing the risk of penalties, fines, and legal liabilities and continuous improvement. This is also a benefit of this formal health and safety management system, that it promotes a culture of continuous improvement by incorporating regular audits, reviewing, and corrective actions. This helps identify and address deficiencies, ensuring that the organization's health and safety performance is continuously enhanced. Number 5 question is, what are workers' responsibilities and health and safety management? We see that the workers were failing to fulfill their proper duties. That what are those conditions from where they fail to appropriately perform their duties? Number one, cooperate with employers in the implementation of the occupational health and safety measures as per ILO recommendation 10. The workers should cooperate with the employer to do their safe work practices at the organizations. But here we see that workers did not properly cooperated, and they were not performing their duties properly. They should take reasonable care for their own safety and that of others who may be affected by the acts or emissions at work. This recommendation says that they should take reasonable care, but here we see that in this scenario, the worker B and C did not take care of themselves, and worker B just put the ladder on the tree, and he went out to take to the drill to the container without informing the worker C. And when worker C was going through that area, suddenly the ladder set down, and he was just it was just falling on his head, but he escaped. Reporting forthwith to their immediate supervisor. This is also the responsibility of the workers. If they find or see any unhealthy situation or any risky situation, they should inform immediately to their supervisor. But here we see that workers did not perform their duties. And the 6th question is, what are organizational factors which has negative influence? So there are many organizational factors which contributed negatively in the health and safety culture of this bird center, but few of them are those poor leadership and commitment from top management. We see that managing director of this bird center was not serious in tackling the health and safety issues. He was not giving proper training to the workers. He was not treating them appropriately, and he was not interested to solve their problems. And this was a bad organizational arrangement and lack of resources and prioritization. From this scenario, it is clear that the managing director appointed the 2 workers for nest movement from this existing workforce, although it was a specialized task, and there may be workers who are trained in this activity. They should be appointed on that job, but the MD said that we do not have appropriate resources and other workers, so we have to take work from the existing workforce. But it was a poor organizational arrangement from the organization side. Inadequate communication and reporting system. Also, we see that the organization did not implemented and any communication or incident reporting mechanism. This lacking was the reason of the accident which happened at that site. Now, the question number 7 is, what are active and reactive monitoring measures? What reactive measures do you suggest at feather and bird centers? So there are 2 types of monitoring measures. One is active, one is reactive. Active measures are those which are taken before the accident for the prevention purpose, and the reactive measures are those which are taken after the accident when some damage has occurred. So here in this scenario, they may ask you that what reactive measures do you propose that could be taken by your organization to stop the similar type of accident in future. So according to this situation, we can reply that accident and incident reporting and investigation properly is a reactive measure that the organization can take to identify the root cause, so that by controlling that root cause, the company would ensure that this incident should not be repeated in future. Injury and illness record. From this injury and illness record, if there is a proper mechanism of reporting and all the injury and illness record is maintained through this reactive measures, the organization can collect the data and they can analyze it and evaluate it and put some better control measures to stop this type of accident in future in this organization. Absenteeism and sickness data, we see that worker B suddenly got ill and he was absent from the work. This type of data, if available with the organization, they can see that what type of the control measure they need to put in place to ensure that all the activities which are being carried out in this bird center are safe and no bad things are happening. So in this way, the monitoring and reactive measures can be taken from the organization to control the accidents. Then what are the induction training? We see that there were new 4 workers who were young who joined the bird center as a part-timer, bird keepers as a part-timer. So also we see that there was no appropriate training for the workers. So interviewer may ask you, what is your opinion regarding the induction training? Induction training is that which is done at the start of the job. When someone start his job, he is given induction training. So what types of induction training can be provided to the workers in this bird center? There are many training which can be given to these workers, but most important of them are familiarizing workers with hazard and risk. We see that the workers here in this sector were not aware of appropriate hazards and risks. Sometimes we see that the worker put the ladder against the tree and he went to container to pick up the gel without informing to the worker see, and he at the end of the work, the worker we put the ladder at the waste container without marking it that it is damaged and it is not usable. So they must be provided this type of training so that worker could be able to identify the hazards and risks at this site. And then worker must be provided communicating health and safety responsibilities. As per recommendation 10 of the ILO R164, workers have responsibilities to cooperate with the employer, take reasonable care for their own safety and that of others, and report dangerous situation. Induction training would ensure that new workers are aware of those responsibilities from the outset. So the workers' roles and responsibilities training should be provided in the induction to all the workers. Then establishing a positive health and safety culture. This training, positive health and safety culture training should also be provided to the workers so that they could contribute to make the health and safety culture of this organization is in a positive direction. Many other trainings can be considered for the reduction path, like the work at height training. We see that the workers were working on the trees to move the nesting box without appropriate fall arrest system, personal fall arrest system, and they were not wearing any helmets so that if something dropped from the top, they can be injured. And also there was no daily briefing toolbox talk at the center. In this way, many types of the training can be provided to the workers so that they will be able to effectively perform their duties. So this is all about this closing interview situation. I hope you have understood this situation from the main points, and then I explained to you through the image. I described all the situation, and then short question and answer the interview will ask. I hope you all will prepare well. All the best for your upcoming interview, and I wish you all the best for your success. Thank you and take care.